This video is talk about Consumer Guarantee Act. So firstly, who the CGA applies to. The purpose of the Consumer Guarantee Act 1993 is to contribute to a trading environment that protects the interests of consumers, businesses to compete effectively and participate confidently. CGA applies to consumers who acquire products in New Zealand that are received as a gift, bought on credit, bought on an auction, online, hired, or leased. It also applies to businesses selling products, including tradespeople, professionals, online traders, importers, finance companies, and retailers. So who is consumer? Consumer means a person that ordinarily acquires goods or services from a supplier for personal, domestic, or household use or consumption. Firstly, consumers make purchases from suppliers, and secondly, it must be ordinarily acquired, which means a consumer buys goods and services for normally purchase. It must for personal, domestic, or household use. For example, if a university student wants to buy a tractor, it is not ordinarily acquired because buying a tractor will not be ordinary for a university student. But if farmers purchase tractors, it will be covered because it will not be considered out of the ordinary. However, it does not include resupplying, reproducing, or using to repair other goods or fixtures online for business purpose.
So, what guarantees are given to consumers? Suppliers and manufacturers have to give guarantees to consumers when they buy products and services. Firstly, there are 7 parts for goods: acceptable quality, fitness for a particular purpose, goods complete with description, goods complete with sample or demonstration model, repairs and spare parts. Manufacturers must honor the express guarantees it has given. Remedies for goods. For acceptable quality, it includes 6 points as shown on the video. For fitness for a particular purpose. For example, the purpose of purchasing a mobile phone is to call others, except 2 points are shown on the video. Remedies for goods. If the failure can be fixed, fix it. If the failure can't be fixed, refund or replace. If the defect is of a substantial character, refund or replacement regardless. And consequential loss means damages that will cost as a consequence of the defective goods, but it must be reasonable for response. For the defense, the action of failure to act or the presentation was done by another person and something occurred that was out of human control. Consumers don't need to buy instant warranties, but warranties must be in writing, legible, and clear, summarizing the difference between the right and the CGA and the warranty. Moreover, consumers has the right to cancel the agreement within 5 working days. Guarantees for services. There are 4 points. Firstly, reasonable care and skill, and fitness for a particular purpose, time of completion, and price.
Now we are going to talk about the rights consumers have when they are unsatisfied with the goods or services. Everyone from garden store owners to electricians have to meet their responsibilities under the CGA, meaning that if you have a problem with a product or service, you can do something about it. The Consumer Guarantees Act protects consumers by allowing them to claim damages and seek for remedies when goods or services purchased are faulty, setting minimum guarantees that apply to all products and services, enforcing suppliers to meet their responsibilities. When a good consumers purchased is faulty, they can choose to get repair, replacement, or refund. For example, Mary buys a freezer for her house. A week later, she discovers the freezer has broken down. All the food in it has gone rotten. A repairer confirms there was a fault with the freezer. Mary goes back to the store and gets a refund. She is also entitled to compensation to cover the cost of the spoiled food.
When you are buying goods or services in New Zealand, you are covered by the Consumer Guarantees Act. The guarantees in the CGA can only be excluded by contracting out, which is a written agreement that a business does not have to meet the requirements of a specific act. Business can only contract out of the CGA if the products or service are for business purpose and the buyer and the sellers are in a trade and agree to this. The agreement cannot be verbal and must be put in writing. It's fair and reasonable to do so. A business who tries to contract out of the CGA in any other circumstances commits an offence under the Fair Trading Act.
It is very important for businesses to follow the CGA and ensure consumers to receive safe and acceptable products and services to avoid consequences for breach of the Act. If businesses breach CGA obligations, the consumers have the right to take the case to the dispute tribunal or district court. Furthermore, when businesses substantially fail to comply with the CGA, consumers are entitled to claim damages of the amount that the goods is worth now. For example, if the consumer bought a product for $50 at the time, but the good is now worth $100, the supplier has to pay the full $100 that is worth now as a remedy. As for services, the consumer may cancel the contract or pay for the reduced amount that the incomplete service is worth and claim the amount you were supposed to get. Thank you for watching.